I'm going to do a demo on the brochure. So here's the directions. So let me go ahead and start with InDesign, and before I'll get into the content of the brochure, I will go in the production phase on how to create this. So this is going to be an 8.5 by 11. It'll be horizontal, and it will be 2 pages, but we will not be doing facing pages. We want to do 2 individual sheets. The margins we can do at a 1/2 inch. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch, 0.25 all the way around, and then I'm going to put the bleed. Now the bleed is the area, usually when you have a bleed, when you see ink that goes to the edge of the page, what usually that means is that the original print was actually a little bit larger, and then they trim it down so that it looks like it goes to the edge of the page. And that bleed area is 1/8 of an inch, which is 0.125 inches all the way around. So we're going to leave this in just 1 column. I'm not going to set up columns on this since we're going to be a 3-panel brochure. I will physically go in and put the guidelines for this. So I hit OK, and there is my page. So I have one side of the brochure, and this is the other side of the brochure. Now, with that in mind, I'm looking at this, and I've got a 1/4 inch bleed all the way around. Now, here's the problem. I mean, an 1/8 inch bleed and a 1/4 inch margin. Now, the issue we have here is that we have an 11 inch page, and how do we divide that by 3? Well, the easiest way to do that is to go to our preferences, and we will go to units and increments, and we're going to convert this into picas. The reason being, it is now 66 picas wide, which allows us to divide the page. So if I get my grid line, I can come across, which means the first one would be 21. I assume that's 22. There it is, right on the money. And I come over here, and the next one would be 44, and there it is. And then I've got about a 1/4 inch on either side. Now, if I want to make sure I have that right, what I'll do is I'll just make a box right here, right? That will be my my width. So I'll come down. In fact, let me redo this. I'm going to hold the Shift key when I make that box. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with it and why. Okay, 1p6 is 1/4 of an inch, so I put one here, and I'm going to put one here, and I'm going to put one here. Now the reason I'm doing that is because that's where the fold is. But since we're putting a 1/4 inch margin all the way around, if that's the fold, then we have to put a 1/4 inch margin here. And we also have to put a 1/4 inch margin here, right? Then we have to do the same thing on the other one, here and here, because that's the fold line. So you've got to have a 1/4 inch all the way around. Now, one thing that I failed to do, which was a big mistake on my end, and I'm going to redo this. I'm going to take all these out and redo this, is I should be doing it on the master page because I don't want to have to do this twice. So let me start all over. There is 22 right there. And here is 44 right there. And I will come up here again and make my 1p6 perfect. And I'll do this again. So I'm going to put one on this grid mark and one on this grid mark, and I will copy both of them and bring them to the other side. And then I'll use those to make my grid line on either side of the fold for this 3-panel brochure. Since I'm putting these on the master page, they will be on every page that we have. So now I can select these and get rid of them because I really don't want those there. So if I go to page 1, here's the layout. You can see how I have my grid lines. Page 2, there's my grid lines. So what I need to do now, all this is saved, is save the file, save as, I'll call it brochure. And this is an important step. I'm on my desktop. I'm going to create a new folder and call it brochure folder. The reason you want to do that in InDesign is because everything that you put in InDesign, any photos or graphics, should all reside in the same folder along with the file. So I will save this and the file will be there in that folder. I have it here somewhere. I have to go find it. There it is. There's a brochure folder. And the file is in there. So anything else that I use in terms of graphics or anything else, I will place in there. So if I'm going to do a brochure for an example, I'm going to go get some images on Chichen Itza. It's an area not too far from my house down in Mexico. And what I always like to do also is set this to large. And I need to get a good vertical shot for my cover, because most of the shots, not all, but most of them will be vertical. And there's not very many good vertical shots here to choose from. Maybe this one could work, but let's see if it's a high-res image. 1440, maybe, maybe not. Oh, I'm not seeing anything good here at all. I don't like any of these. There's one with a family. There's another one with a family. None of these are really doing it to me. So I'm going to use another choice. There's three choices I like to use. Unsplash, Pexels, or Pixabay. I think they have really good free photos. Oh, here we go. They do have some nice ones that I can use. And I can crop them in a way that they'll look really good. So this one has some people, and this one's pretty good. Let's see if I can find a really, really good one. Don't particularly want a person's face on my cover brochure. This is a good vertical picture right there. That could be the winner. Even though it has people in it, I could still use it. So I'm going to download that. Free download. And it's going to put it in my documents, and I'm just going to move it over, and it is now in my brochure folder because that's where I need it to be, because I'm going to place it in here. So I'm going to get a picture box, and I'm going to go all the way out to the bleed on 3 sides into the fold, and then I go to place. And this will be a really, not website. Where's it at? Where's my brochure? There it is, brochure folder. Let's put that Chichen Itza image in there. Okay, probably needs to be blown up a little bit. Maybe not actually, but I'm gonna go ahead and blow it up to get it to fit in here. What I'm doing is I'm holding the Command-Shift key, and I have the the direct selection tool is selected. So I get the whole picture. And I think that's going to work. Now, I have that photo placed in there. Now I need to put other content. So what I'm going to concentrate on, like usually in the back is where you put visitor information and things like that. So maybe we do that. Let's say Chichen Itza, and let's see, there's the UNESCO page, so maybe they have the information for visiting, which we can steal. So let's see, documents, gallery, video. Oh, they have photos here too. Oh, they have some good information that I can use for copy. But I don't see anything. Let's see. Maybe we have to go to the actual home page. Okay, here we go. Maybe it has refrigerators on it. That's crazy. Why would it have that? TripAdvisor, maybe they'll have some information on going there and all that stuff. Admission 52, check available. This is really unfortunate. They don't really have information about the site. I just want to be able to go there and about Chichen Itza. They don't have pricing or anything. Well, then we're not going to put that stuff in there since we can't find anything. So I'm going to go back to, excuse me, the official page, and maybe I can just get some good copy out of this. In fact, maybe that's not the one that I want to use. The UNESCO site. There we go. Okay, so what I'll do on this back is I'll put the UNESCO information. So let's go ahead and copy this. And I'll come here and I will put a text box. I'm going to go within the margins. Paste it in there. And at this point I need to decide on type. So I'm going to call up my type window. Oops, it was there. It went away. There it is. Now, I'm not going to use Minion Pro. I hate Minion Pro because for one good reason, it's the default type. So if you use Minion Pro, that's not good. So always pick something else. Maybe I'll just go with Acumen because it's up here at the top. That may be my best choice. And then what I'll do is I'll make this header a boldface. And in terms of type for a brochure, 8 to 10 is normal. So I'm going to do this at 10 point. I think that would work just fine. My properties are here. I need to look at my properties. I'm going to get rid of the layers for now. And I'm going to do alignment here. Perfect. And I'm going to turn hyphenations off. I don't like hyphenations. So that information is there. Maybe I'll find a Chichen Itza map that I can find that I can put back here for location. This is a nice vertical. Maybe this will work. It's low res. That's not going to work. How about this one? That's low res. I'm going to have to do my search for large. And how about this guy? It says it's licensable. Yep, that's a high res one right there. So save image as, and of course we're going to put it in our brochure folder. Now you're not making any money on this. So the fact that you're using images from the web to do this is not a big deal because you're not going to sell this, right? You're not going to make any money. We're doing a school project. So it's fine to bring them in like this. Then all I have to do is scale it to fit content proportionally. And there we go. Now I don't like this kind of thing that's going on here, but I can fix that and I'll show you how. I'm going to take this right to the edge, take the box all the way to the edge here. Okay, and then I'm going to use my eyedropper. I'm going to select that green. Well, and it didn't fill it with a color, probably because there's a white space there. That's okay, we can still fix that. I'm going to go ahead and size this to fit the whole thing and leave it like that. Now what I can do to fix that white space, you have the option, if you select it, if you do a right click, you actually have the option to do edit original. Or what I like to do is edit with, and I'll go ahead and open it with Photoshop so that I can fill the rest of that with green. I don't know why that white space is there. It's kind of annoying. So, in fact, we could just go ahead and crop this. And I tell you what, this is what I'm going to do, just to save the problem of having to do that. Now, this image will automatically fix itself, but since I've already cropped it, I think what I'll do is I'll just do something unique here, and I'll just put, right there, I'll put a bar, and I'm going to fill it with a color, and maybe I'll fill it with a color from here, the sand color, if it'll let me. See if I can select this again. Select here, let's pick a color. Nope, it's not doing it. That's not good at all. Okay, so I'm just going to have to pick a fill. Where did it go? Where's my box? There it is. So let's see if we can do the fill again using the eyedropper. There we go. Let's do it again. Pick a lighter color. Perfect. So it does work. Let's put this thing back. That's going to work. And let's bring this down. Let's get this to align with the photo. And what I'll do is I'll put some copy on this. So I'll just put the word, make a text box, all caps. If you want to get let's do it like this. See, oh, it's not doing it. It's not doing it. That's crazy. There it is. So what I'm doing is Option A. Well, it's not doing it this time. It doesn't want to put the accent on the A. But luckily, what we can do, and let's say we go ahead and take that all to caps anyway, just so you can see how to do this. It's got it on there. If we want to get that A, the good thing about it, if we go ahead and use our font, which is going to be Acumen, which is what we're using for everything, right? Acumen Pro Condensed. And let's go ahead and make it like black or ultra black. Okay, so I need to get the accent on the A. Well, guess what? If we go to type, we can go to glyphs. And I bet, nope, we don't have an accent on the A. Okay, let's see if there's another way to get the accent on the A. Option A, nope. Command A, nope. There's got to be a way to get the accent on the A. Well, I'm not going to worry about it now. I will figure it out before we finish. Okay, I'm going to rotate this guy. I'm going to bring him in here, and I'm going to make it nice and bold. Now I'm going to hold Command Shift and grab the corner anchor. That will take the type up nice and big. And if I have to, I'll just bring the point size down to get it to fit the space. I'm liking that. That's working. And then just to finish it out, Yucatan. So let's bring this all the way out. Let's see if I can get that word in there. Not quite. I just need to make it a little bit smaller. There it is. That's all the same size. So if this is, let's make it all 32 point. Beautiful. Chichen Itza, Yucatan. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll bring this image all the way down. And just to fill this out, what I can do here to fill this out is give it a little bit more leading. Perfect. So there's the front cover. And I can go ahead and use this since I have it. I'm going to bring it over here. Let's rotate it. And, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to copy it, not to bring it over. Hold the Option key. Now, if I wanted to, I could put this here, but I really don't like the way that looks. So, let's go ahead and make this a square, and then we will rotate it. There we go. Oh, we got a copy of it. That's okay. We'll probably make this nice and big. I'm going to tighten the leading on this just to get it to snug up right under it. Okay, like that. We're going to make the type white. But what we're going to do, so it'll stand out, because right now it's not really standing out, I will go ahead and make it bigger to go all the way across. As I'm going to go to Object, and I'm going to go to Effects, and I'm going to go to Drop Shadow. And there we go. You can already see what's happening. I usually do P5 on that, on the Drop Shadow. And I'll bring the opacity down a little bit. And there we go. Chichen Itza, Yucatan. Maybe I can center it even better. Okay, and if I wanted to, I could use a color. Let's use the eyedropper. Maybe we use the sand color. See what that does. Yeah. Now we've got the back photo on here. So what I want to do is I want to find a Mayan warrior. Something illustrated like this guy. Again, I'm going to go, make sure I go to large. That's kind of interesting. This guy here, let's see if it's a decent resolution. 938, that's decent. There's some more right here. That's 869, not quite as good. How about this guy? That's the same one. I think we're going to go with this one. Now he's got some stuff around him, so I don't really like that. I'm going to find something because I want to put in a silhouette to show you the benefits of doing that. And I'm going to do it on this back side. So I need to find, I could try to do it in Pixabay. I doubt I'm going to find Mayan illustration. I doubt, no, I'm not going to find, I mean, there's a mask. So I need to find it on Google. And I may have to go with one of these. See what this guy's doing. Okay, there's nothing else around this guy, so he may work. Although I would have preferred to get something vertical, but all of these seem to have watermarks on them. And I want something without a watermark, if I can get it. How about this one? There we go. No watermark here. Not as good as I would like, but we may have to go with that. That may be our best option. So let's save image as. We're going to put that, it's a JPEG. We're going to put it in our brochure folder. And what I will do is I'll put this guy back here. So create a picture box. We will place him. And there he is. And we'll get him to scale to fit proportionally. Now, here's the thing. We have a few ways to go about doing text wraps. I'm going to go ahead and bring him down to fit the space here. We can even let his headdress bleed. That's okay. Not a big deal. But we have a few options. Now, normally what I would say, what we used to do is, well, you got to take that into Photoshop and create a clipping path. The thing is, InDesign has the option to do that for you. So I'm going to go to Object, and I am going to go to Clipping Path Options, and I'm going to tell it to detect edges. And notice how it kind of drew that edge all the way around it, right? So I hit OK. So now, if I go to my UNESCO site and get more a copy, okay, let's do this. Maybe we're going to put this copy here. Copy that. And I'm going to use this text box as a go by. I'll bring this all the way down to about here. And let's go ahead and put this copy in here. Okay, so now what I need to do also is obviously I'm going to make this bold to match the other one. And what I'll do is if I want this copy to wrap, and I may have to go get a little bit more, let's get one more paragraph to get this to fit. Oops, let's do it this way. Well, I guess that'll be okay because all I have to do is just make it, again, just tell it which font I want. Condensed, I want it regular, I want it 10 point. There, it's all the same. Okay, so now this copy is flowing behind this guy, right? And let's go ahead, we've got it 10/12. We can go a little bit more. Okay, so if I wanted to wrap around him, what I have to do is select him, And I go to a function here called text wrap, and I'm going to tell it to wrap around a shape. Okay, and it is. But notice how it's not quite doing it as well as I'd like. That's because I have to give it a little bit more space around here. And there we go. Isn't that beautiful? I got to get the word "the" out of there. And what I might even do is see if I have to take this paragraph out. Or I edit it. Now, granted, you wouldn't do this normally, but I'm going to do it just for the purpose of presentation. And then I'll give this a little bit more leading to finish out. And of course, make this bold. Now let's look at this thing. Now I know I have some type overrunning, and that's easily fixed. I can just bring this guy over a little bit or bring him down to get all the copy to fit. There we go. All the way to High Priest is showing. So if we do this in preview mode, there is our brochure. Now it's not very exciting right now. I probably would make these larger. Go to 14. We'll do this at 14 also. If we're doing the type here at 14 point, we need to make the type here. Also at 14 point leading, do a double return to match. That's much better. And I might even have to move this guy over a little bit more. There we go, so that we get the word High Priest to finish out. So you kind of see what's going on here. Now, how do I make this more interesting, right? It's kind of boring. There's not much going on. So what I'm going to do, and I'm only going to do one side just so you can see how this works. Let's go back to normal mode. And I'm going to make a color box right here, I guess all the way to the bleed on 3 sides into the fold. And I am going to fill that with a color. What color am I going to fill it with? I don't know. Maybe I'm going to get my eyedropper and pick something from the pyramid again. Maybe it will be the orange. There we go. That's kind of dark, but that's okay. We're going to move that to the back. So now what I'm going to look for are Mayan symbols. And there we go. Let's try to find a nice network of Mayan symbols that we can incorporate. And I'm going to use the words line art for that reason. So I want to get some kind of a nice tapestry behind the image. And I just need to find a good collection of symbols that I can put back there. Here's a good example right here. It's not very high res. Maybe I need to do the tools again and check and make it large. See if we can get a nice tapestry of some icons. Maybe these are the ones. I think I was just looking at these. Yep, these are the, they've got the watermark. But there's ways around that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, let's see if I can just find a better way to get to it. This also is a nice tapestry of images. That's also, there you go. That's it. Save image as. We're going to put this in our brochure folder. It's a JPEG image. So I'm going to show you another little trick that you can use in your brochure. I'm going to open up that image that I just downloaded right here. I'm going to open it with Photoshop. And I'm going to show you how you can alter that image so that you can use black and white line art images and do something really neat with them and something really fun. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color mode to grayscale. All the color information's gone. Then I'm going to change the color mode to what's called bitmap. And I'm going to tell it to do 600 pixels per inch. And there it is. Then I'm going to save as. Don't show this again, please. Save on my computer. I don't want to go to the cloud. I'm going to save this not as a Photoshop file, but as a TIFF file. Save. So I'm making a bitmap image that's TIFF. And I'll show you why you want to do that. So let's come here and let's put a picture box. And let's place that image that we just made a bitmap TIFF. There it is, of all these glyphs. It came in way too large, so I'm going to get it to content to fit. There we go. So it makes for a really nice texture. What I'll do is I'll scale this out a little bit to go all the way out to the bleed, all the way into here, right? That's what I want. So now, for now, what I'm going to do, just to make this easier, I should have done this in layers. I'm going to take these two guys. I'm going to move them out. I'm going to take this image, and what I'll do is I'll cut it right there, and then I'm going to duplicate it. And then I'm going to duplicate it one more time, and the fact that it bleeds off is okay. So let's get back in here. So we have a nice texture going on. This is the cool thing about it. If I use my direct selection tool and select that image, right now it's black. Now, if I want to, I could, let's go ahead and put the color of the background in there. So that, I'm going to move this out of the way temporarily. This brown color that we have, it's showing on our swatches. So I'm going to drag it in here so we have it. Okay. Then I'll move this thing back up so that it lines up with where we had it. So what I can do is use the direct selection tool, select this bitmap TIFF image, select that same brown, and then I'll just pull the opacity back to about 90%. Do the same thing here, select that brown, take the opacity back to about 90%. Do the same thing here and take that opacity back to about 90%. Oh, I have to select brown. There we go. So now we have a real nice texture behind this. I can take these two guys, move them back into position. Now, we need to bring them to the front. And what I think I might do also is select all this type and make it white so it'll stand out. There we go. So we got some nice texture going on. Let's take a look at this in preview mode. But we see that there's a problem here. You can probably see it. See, the outline here isn't very good. That's an issue, right? That is very much an issue. So let's fix that. If this were against a white image, it would have been fine. So let's open up a picture of that guy again. I think it's this one in photo. Oh, that's the main photo. Let's see if I can find it again. The warrior. Here's the warrior. Okay. So we need to extract the white. We need to get rid of everything. So this is another way you can do it. I'm going to use my magic wand. It will select all the white areas, even inside here. If it'll do it, there it is, and right there, and right there, and right there, and right here inside of his arm. Oh, that got more than we wanted. We could probably erase away that. So let's get the main areas first. And then what I need to do is, it selected the white areas, so I'm going to do a select inverse. Then I'm going to do a copy, and I'm going to do a paste. It's going to put it on its own layer. I'll turn the back layer off. And you notice how the image now has no background around it, right? And we still have a little bit of white here, so I can actually get my eraser and make it tiny, tiny, tiny. Just a few pixels. It's still a little too big, but this might do it. And I can erase away. I need to go smaller. 3 pixels. Let's see if that'll do it. I think that'll do it. Just to erase away what I need. And now we have this image with no white. Now the issue we may have are these feathers. I think the feathers might be okay with the white there. So now that we've done this, what we can do is save as, and save it as a PSD. So we're going to save it as an actual native Photoshop file. Okay, now let's try it again. Let's put the same picture in here. And we'll put in the PSD this time. There it is. And I think the options... no, let's just, replace selected, And he comes in clean. Notice how all that stuff cleaned up. So that's another way that you can do it if you wanted to. It's because I put the dark background, and I did that intentionally. Because I put the dark background, you could see the nastiness of the selection. If it was against white, it would have been fine. So now I've done a front cover, this and that, and the back cover. Now what I can do, if we look at the back panel, the advantage of the back panel, or the inside of the brochure, the biggest advantage is that you can see the thing horizontally. So if I wanted to, I could put one large photo across two panels. And we had some pretty good photos in our downloads, right? Let's go back to what we had. Let's look up Chichen Itza again. Chichen, I think I'm spelling it wrong. C-H-I-C-H-E-N. Oh, God, I don't even know how to spell it anymore. C-H-I-C-H-E-N-I-T-Z-A. Oh, there we go. So I can get a really nice horizontal image to put in here. Something that really looks good. Say we want to use this one. Really good image. Beautiful. Free download. And then I'll drag that into my folder, my brochure folder from the downloads. And if I wanted to, I could select that picture box, do a file, place. Let's get that beautiful image that just came in. And look at that. We can take it to the bleed, blow it up to go to the fold. And now we've got a nice photo here. And if you put any copy, for example, you can put a copy in this column. You can put some copy in that column. And I'm going to go ahead and put some placeholder text just so you can see it. And then I'll make another here. And there's two ways to go about this. If this was all one story, for example, and I'll go ahead and change this to the font that we want. We're using Acumen. Acumen Pro Condensed. We're using regular, right? So we have some copy. We're doing this, I think, at 10 point. And let's go ahead and do a double return. And what we'll do is we're going to use this copy over and over. So if you wanted to do that, for example, so this copy is flowing beyond what we want, but we want it to go into the next column. See that little red plus? That means there's more copy in this box than what's showing. I can click on that. I can go to the other box that I created, and it will flow the rest of that copy in there. And you can see there's even more copy. So I can click on that box, and even though I haven't created a box, it will make one. And we'll just have to edit where it goes and how it looks. But for now, I'm just going to delete it. And you can kind of see the whole presence of this. And then you can do the same thing on this side. Maybe you like this pattern. Let's go ahead and select these guys. Let's come all the way down here, select all this. And we will deselect the warrior. And then we'll come in here and we'll paste it. Oh, that's not what we wanted. Let me go. I didn't copy it. That's not real smart. Okay, so I'm going to drag select so it'll get the brown and the background images. And then I will deselect the warrior, edit copy, go over here, edit paste, put it in position to the bleed. And there we go. And we've got that again that we can use, and we can put images, we can put more photos. Obviously you want to put some header information in here, whatever you want to do, but you have an idea of how to kind of put this together. Now this is what I'm going to do. Now that I need to save this, when you turn it in, according to the assignment, you are going to package it. So let's go over that. Oh, my brother sent me a text. Okay, so this is what we do. To package something, once it's all saved, is you do this. You go under File to Package. Now, I got this little yellow thing because all of my images are RGB. I haven't converted them to CMYK, which I normally would do if you're going to do this correctly. For this project, I'm not going to be a stickler on that. If you can just design it, I'd be happy. And then we hit Package. And we're going to copy all of these elements. I never do these two here about hyphenation exceptions and all that. But all of this stuff I hit, and I hit Package. And it's going to make another folder within the folder. It's saying that I have copy that's overflowing, which I know that. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. For you, you need to fix that. But for me, I'm going to accept that. Okay, so what it does is it puts it all together. And if I go to my brochure folder where I created it, within it is another brochure folder that the package made. And within that brochure folder is, guess what? The InDesign file, a PDF that we can open and look at. Look at that brochure. Beautiful, right? You can see how it goes to the bleed. So this brochure folder that is created from the package will also have the links. Now there's something that kind of bothers me because there's something that didn't come in. Let me check the package again. There's something I might not have checked. Package. Oh, I have to include fonts. That's what it is. Include fonts. We're going to replace everything that was in that brochure folder. And it doesn't like it. Yes, I want to replace it. Okay, I'm just going to put it on the desktop just to avoid any issues. So let's put that brochure folder on the desktop. And it's creating the PDF. There we go. Okay, let's take a look at this now. That's my brochure folder. This is the brochure folder that was created from the package. So the package file, I don't know why it still doesn't have it. It did not put my fonts in there. What is going on? What is going on? I'm going to do this one more time. Let's get rid of it. Let's go back here. File, Package. I think I know what the issue may be because these are activated fonts in Adobe. That's probably why it's doing it, but let me check it just to make sure. If they were purchase fonts, it would be different. So I'm going to go ahead and package it again on the desktop. That's why it's doing it, because these are Adobe fonts that are generated in Creative Cloud. That's why it's doing it. So that package folder that it creates has the brochure in an InDesign file. It has an IDML file. And the IDML file, what that is if you have an older version of InDesign and somebody creates it in InDesign 22 and you have 21, you can open the IDML file. It also provides a PDF, and this is what you're going to post in the critique. And then it has a copy of all the links of the photos that you used for this brochure. Then all you'd have to do is do a right click on this, PC or Mac. On a Mac, it's, right click compress. I think on a PC, it's something similar. It's a right click and it's not compress, but it's something else. This is what you upload for the assignment. And for the critique, you upload the brochure. And this is what people will critique this week. Hopefully, I made some sense with all this and it's as clear as it can be. But I'm looking forward to all of your designs.